On the 12th of November 2001, this 13-year-old Airbus A300 crashed in the Queens of New York. But let's go back in its 13-year life to see its history. The aircraft started its journey in Toulouse, France in the year of 1987 and took its first flight on the 9th of December 1987. And after Airbus completing their rigorous checks in terms of the aircraft to be safe that it's fit to go to the American Airlines, it was eventually then delivered the following year in 1988 on the 12th of July to American Airlines. Now this A300 was the R model of the A300 and had 16 business class seats as well as 235 economy class seats. Now a little bit more about the aircraft was that the aircraft MSN number was 420. The aircraft had accumulated with over 37,000 flight hours before the accident, and the aircraft was powered by the General Electric CF6 engines. Now, the aircraft had been operating flawlessly for its almost 14-year life just before the accident, and it had no major issues until Monday, the 12th of November 2001. Now, it had only been 2 months and 1 day since the September 11th attacks, so it was still fresh in everyone's minds, and probably fresh in some of the minds of the passengers that boarded Flight 587. But after a small delay of about 45 minutes, the aircraft took off from New York's JFK Airport. But just before Flight 587 took off from New York's JFK Airport, a Japan Airlines Boeing 747 took off just ahead of it. This aircraft would become a pivotal role in the aircraft's investigation. But regardless, the aircraft lined up on the runway and began its takeoff roll, and the aircraft lifted up into the sky. But as the aircraft took off, it encountered some wake turbulence from the Japan Airlines Jumbo up ahead. But the first officer tried to stabilise the plane with using the rudder to somewhat ease the flight and the bumpiness. However, this didn't work, and the tail came ripping off the plane over the suburb of Queens. The aircraft then plummeted towards the ground, somewhat breaking up mid-flight as the engines fell off the aircraft and crashed in a nearby petrol station. And as the houses of Queens, New York began to shake, people started to wonder what was going on, and then the plane came crashing down in the suburbs of Queens. Now, with the events of 9/11 still fresh in people's minds, people thought this was another attack on New York. So within hours of the crash, pretty much all of the New York airspace and the United States had been shut down for the second time in under a year. Now, the investigators and the FBI were involved in trying to figure out what went wrong to American Airlines Flight 587, and they needed to get their hands on the black boxes. Now, the investigators also thought that it had also been another attack on America. However, when looking at CCTV footage and whoever had boarded the plane, it looked like they would rule out, and just about a day into the investigation, they ruled out the probable cause of another terrorist attack. Now, this was met by a lot of scrutiny from the public, who thought this was a cover-up by the FBI and the NTSB to cover up some form of plot for a terrorist attack. However, when the tail pilot of the plane was found in the Jamaica Bay not long after the crash, it pretty much summed up that there was no signs of a terrorist attack. So the FBI left the investigation. So it now left the NTSB up to figure out what went wrong. But after listening to the black boxes, the investigators finally pieced together what went wrong, as when listening to the black boxes, they heard a sharp bang come from this black box, and the first officer trying to stabilise the plane. This would be the point of when the tail bit of the aircraft came flying off. So, with this information, they figured out that poor training was the cause of the crash and the first officer's incapability to stabilise the plane with wake turbulence. So that was what caused the crash of American Airlines Flight 587, and also sums up the history of November 14053. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching today's video, and I hope you did enjoy, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.